Hi there, I'm the 996, and this video is about Nanowrimo. Things to consider when you're trying to figure out when you should actually participate in Nanowrimo or when you might not want to. So first of all, for anyone who doesn't know what Nanowrimo is, it is a 50,000 words that you try to write in 1 month of a novel. It's not about trying to finish the novel in 1 month, it's about getting a lot of the main content of the story down within a short period of time. Unlike some other methods where you just keep on writing so much every single day, it's about getting a bulk of the first draft done. Improving to yourself, you can do that. Of course, if you've been working on it beforehand, or if you work on it later on to complete it, your work isn't done then. But still being able to complete that many words of a novel in such a short period of time really takes a lot of discipline. And in November, it's something where a lot of different people will be participating in this as well. And you can go to NaNoWriMo, I believe it's nanowrimo.org. I will make sure that I link the actual website in the description below. You can also participate in Camp NaNoWriMo, where you can again try to complete 50,000 words of a novel, or you can have goals that might be a lower word count, maybe 45,000 words, maybe 47,000 words. You can revise your novel, you can write various different things, maybe songs, maybe write a lot of poems, writing various different stories, just making sure that you get that word count, you're getting a lot of productive, creative writing done. Camp NaNoWriMo is held during April and July. Now, if you're going to go with 50,000 words, which is the normal word count for NaNoWriMo, that is 1,667 words a day. I would suggest, if you're participating, to aim for 17,000, about 17,050, but 1,750 words to about 2,000 words. That way, if something happens where you're falling behind on certain days, you're actually not behind in your overall word count and having to play catch up. You're already further ahead. Or maybe, if you're lucky, you might even complete NaNoWriMo ahead of time and win, and then just keep on writing from there. I first participated in NaNoWriMo back when I was, I think, about 18 or 19. I wasn't in school at the time, and I worked in a full-time job at the time, but I did win, and it felt like an awesome feeling because I had never completed that large of a word count of any type of story before. And then I tried to participate in the summers and Camp NaNoWriMos, and I kept not finishing. And then sometimes I would attempt to, sometimes it had to do with continuously outside factors, other times it simply had to do with not quite being as serious about my writing journey at the time and not organizing myself as properly as I wish I should have to have owned my skills some more. However, Camp NaNoWriMo in 2017, July 2017, is how I completed the first manuscript that I am revising now, which is a young adult sci-fi fantasy novel, which is more of a soft sci-fi, higher on the fantasy side. But anyway, even though I didn't finish it completely during that time, I worked on it in June, I did a bulk of it in July, and then I finished it in August. And I know if it wasn't for that word count that I did then, I wouldn't have completed it. Now, a lot of people will say, yes, do NaNoWriMo, is awesome. But there are a lot of times also where I just didn't even try doing NaNoWriMo. And that was because I would look at certain things going on and I realized it probably wasn't right timing. If you've never done NaNoWriMo beforehand, or if you're trying to make sure you're in the best place to try to win, some things that you need to consider about possibly you might not want to try participating in NaNoWriMo is if you have some type of major transitional changes happening during the same month that you be participating in NaNoWriMo. If it's in maybe the beginning or the middle of the month or some kind of large transitional changes, you might not want to try and be completing 50,000 words. For instance, if you're in college and you have exams in November is the time where you start taking some exams, or you're studying like crazy for them, and you're also getting all those papers out and so forth, you're trying to balance that and work, that might not be the best time to try to do NaNoWriMo. There are some people who can handle that, and they just treat it maybe as if they would another assignment, and they just know how to handle it. However, if you are worried that you're not going to be able to be putting a lot of your energy and time into studying and doing these other things during a time where you're literally trying to graduate or you're literally trying to make sure you pass this class, you might need to consider not doing NaNoWriMo. Maybe if you are starting a new job, a new full-time job in a field that you have never worked in before, that will be a learning curve, then that might also be a time where you might not necessarily want to try and participate in NaNoWriMo. I mean, if you want to, you think that you can do that, that's up to you. But if you think that it's just going to be nothing but stress, I mean, there is a certain amount of stress about trying to write so many words in one day. Like even trying to write 1,667 words in one day, continuously doing that for a month. There's a certain amount of stress, and there's a certain amount of things that you need to be willing to sacrifice. You need to be willing to, in NaNoWriMo, sacrifice sometimes social plans, sometimes time you watch TV, sometimes times you would watch YouTube videos, or just anything you try to do to get some rest and relaxation. Let me also suggest, if you are maybe starting a full-time job that's going to be time-consuming and learning a lot of skills in a field you're not used to, and you already have a part-time job and you're not already used to how to balance that, or maybe you have a lot of driving to do as far as a commute is concerned to this new job, or maybe your first semester in college and you have exams, maybe this is your senior in high school, you have trying to apply, and you have all these different things that you're participating in, and cutting back on social obligations or anything feels very restraining, because might be a time when you want to be with your friends or just do other activities. You might not necessarily want to participate in NaNoWriMo right then and there. Things not to be too concerned about as far as participating in NaNoWriMo is just being scared of not being able to do that. I would suggest fit it in the morning, the afternoon, and at night. If you're in classes, maybe try to go to bed an hour early, or just try to get up an hour early every day so that you can write for an hour, and also maybe put a timer on. Like, I've heard a lot of different sources say writing with a timer helps. I've done that as well. If you put a timer on for 10 minutes, you really will be surprised how much you can write. If you're figuring out, I don't know what story to choose for writing, it shouldn't be a deterrent. There's something called Preptober, which is in October, where a lot of people do prepping as far as characters, their world, possibly write out a sentence about a certain scene that they can possibly expand upon, about their story, and figuring all that out. And for the summer NaNoWriMos, the summer and the spring NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo, you do that in May, you do that in June for the July NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo, and in March for the April NaNoWriMo. So that shouldn't be something to deter you. If you are, I don't know, let's say maybe if it's your first, like if you're moving, or if it's your first, and this is your first, you're moving to a whole different state or different town, and you're in the middle of that, maybe that might not be the best time for you. All the, and you're trying to move to have a new job, just various huge, very large transitional changes in your life. You don't need to necessarily be trying to add something else on that's going to be a huge time consuming commitment, such as Nanowrimo is concerned. Also, let me see, some things that should deter you from Nanowrimo is thinking that it's just going to be too hard. I mean, there are also write-ins, or if you go to Nanowrimo, there are some websites, they tell you sometimes different places around town people can meet up, and if you look in your state and you try to find your city, different places people can write. And there's nothing wrong with writing it out and about if that works for you. I remember going to different meetups with different people in the writers group, or different places in general just to write. So sometimes that can be a social activity in itself. You meet at a cafe or so forth, and people chit chat some while they're still all there to write, and that helps you continue to do that. So if there's anything you can think of that you thought might have been interesting to discuss in this video that I didn't cover, you can definitely leave a description below, or leave a comment. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, not just about Nanowrimo, but about various things regarding my writing journey and different advice I'm giving involving writing, then please subscribe to my videos. You have a wonderful day.